Hello everybody, here we are today talking about how the Chicago Blackhawks did with Connor Bedard in his first 39 games and then how they did after he was hurt, and then talk about is there a correlation and what exactly are my thoughts on Bedard. So before we get started with it, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So Connor Bedard did play nearly the first half of the season with the Hawks, and in that time things were not great for the team, but obviously there was some really inspiring moments from him as a top pick in this past draft and a guy that is seen as a future NHL star. However, you do have to look at the fact too that we are looking at some of these numbers, and in the first 39 games the Hawks went 11, 26 and 2 with him and had a points percentage of .308. How did they do in their spell after he was injured and out of the lineup for a bit? He now has returned. Well, I'll tell you. So in the 14 games without Bedard, they went 3-10-1 and had a points percentage of .250. So that right there would say, hey, with Bedard in the lineup, we are a better team. Well, I think obviously we have to dig deeper than that and take a look at the numbers, which I'll put up on the screen. And then at the end of the video, or as we get further along, I will add on to my thoughts with this. And I did want to add here that we are not including PK numbers because he's barely played on the PK. And then we are also not including even strength numbers because the numbers were so close to 5-on-5 numbers. I didn't feel like doing that. Anyway, we're getting back to full strength numbers. So at full strength, when Bedard was healthy, they ranked 29th in shots for per 60, 31st in shots for percentage, 29th in goals for per 60, 31st in scoring chances for per 60, 26th in medium danger chances for per 60, and 32nd in high danger chances for per 60. So that right there shows that they weren't really that great of a team in a lot of areas at 5-on-5 play, which we kind of understand. But then we get to look at this spell where he missed some time from the early parts of January into about the middle part of February. Of course, they had the All-Star break there too. But now let's take a look at full strength numbers without Bedard. So without Connor, they were 27th in shots for per 60, 27th in shots for percentage, 32nd in goals for per 60, 27th in scoring chances for per 60, 27th in medium danger chances for per 60, and 26th in high danger chances for per 60. So that right there is just kind of a weird thing where they actually did better in some areas without Connor than with him. At the same time, though, with Bedard being there, they were scoring at a higher clip in terms of the overall league average. And that is kind of interesting. Now we get to talk about the power play before I get into my whole spiel about is Connor helping the team or is he hurting the team? So please stick around for that before you make your comments about whatever your opinion is. So on the man advantage, in the first 39 games, they ranked 15th in average time on ice per game played. They ranked 29th in goals for per 60, 32nd in scoring chances for per 60, 32nd in medium danger chances for per 60, and 28th in high danger chances for per 60. Now, as for the power play without Bedard during this stretch, the Hawks averaged the 14th most minutes on the man advantage. They were 29th in goals for per 60, 25th in scoring chances for per 60, 29th in medium danger chances for per 60, and 16th in high danger chances for per 60. So right away, you're probably looking at some of these things and being like, how in the world is this really bad Chicago team that had a relatively long losing streak during his absence having some numbers that are better at 5-on-5 play and on the man advantage, and how does this correlate to Bedard? Are we saying that Bedard is a bad player? No, I would argue that Bedard is a good player. I know, big shocker there. And I think something that helps with, we could argue a little bit here, is obviously it's a different point of the year. On top of that, 2 injuries and scandals unfortunately followed the Hawks early in the season, as well as Bedard being an 8-year-old that is learning the ropes of the NHL. And this is just a team stat. This is not a sole Bedard stat, which I'm going to give you some stats that will back up why Bedard is obviously the best player for them, at least offensively. So at 5-on-5 play, despite the team playing better without Bedard, when it came to when Bedard actually was out on the ice, he was actually second on the team for expected goals for per 60 as well as medium danger chances for per 60. So benefiting the team there in terms of quality chances and expected goals as well too. When you look at the fact that things hold true pretty much there as well on the power play, it's not really surprising to see here. On top of that too, MoneyPuck.com has a list of all the lines that have played at least 14 minutes together for the Hawks this season, and in second place and third place were lines that had Bedard on them in terms of goals for per 60. So clearly out of those 14 lines, being second and third, not too bad there, as this is an 18-year-old that is still learning the game and developing at a young age. And yes, finally, I think an easy thing to point out is the fact that Bedard is going to lead his team in points despite missing a good chunk of time. and likely will contend for the Calder. I mean, this is a guy that missed nearly 15 games, but is still averaging almost a point per game, has been on a little bit of a heater as of late, has 39 points in 42 games played, and has had some very jaw-dropping moments on top of that too. Again, remember, he is very young and playing sometimes top-line competition, facing the best of the best in the world, and is still able to go out there and score some highlight reels for goals, and just is a player that you look at and say, that guy could be a difference maker, especially in the offensive side in the future. And I don't want to be too mean, but you have to remember too, his line mates aren't really up there with some of the other teams in the league and how some of these lines pair. You throw him on some of the better lines in the NHL, my goodness, think of what he could do if he's nearly averaging a point per game now. So yes, make no mistake, Chicago fans are back that Bedard is in the lineup, and yes, while the ingredients, or not the ingredients, but the results may have been better in some ways, the results really come down to goals, and I think this goes to show the results that Bedard, again, probably is the best goal scorer for the team, and will be in a situation that in the coming years, as the team gets better around him and he develops more and more, is going to be one of those guys that very well becomes not only one of the faces of the league, but very well could become the face of the league. So anyway, what are your thoughts on Connor Bedard, and what do you think he's going to become in the NHL, and whether or not he will win the Calder this year? Just some fun stuff like that. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night, and you go love hockey, all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.